On January 13, 2025, an iceberg the size of Chicago broke off the Antarctic Peninsula. 12 days later, you're inside ROV Sebastian, descending into a zone nobody has ever seen, sealed under 500 feet of ice for centuries. The scientists around you are expecting sediment, maybe microbes. What you find instead stops the room cold. An entire ecosystem, intact, centuries old, surviving in total darkness for longer than the United States has existed. And in the middle of it all, something is drifting toward you. A bell 1 meter across, 4 arms stretching 10 meters into the void. Slow, silent, coming straight at you. Scientists have seen this thing fewer than 130 times in 125 years of exploration. And the question that hits you isn't what it is. It's why it's this big. This place should produce the smallest life on Earth. No light, almost no food, cold that shuts enzymes down, pressure that crushes steel. Every rule of biology points one direction: stay tiny. And yet, every time we go deep enough, we find giants. Every single time. Science has partial answers. And every time we think we understand it, something down here breaks those answers apart. You've seen pill bugs. Those little gray things under rocks in your backyard, barely a centimeter long, slow enough that a 3-year-old catches them without trying. Now, take that exact animal. Same anatomy, same family, same basic design, 50 centimeters long, 1.5 kilograms, 14 legs, compound eyes covering almost the entire width of its head. That's the giant isopod. And in January 2025, researchers described a brand new species called Bathynomus vaderi, named after Darth Vader because its head looks exactly like his helmet. Not metaphorically. Look at a photo, it's him. Found in Vietnam, sold in restaurants as a luxury delicacy before science knew it existed. Fishermen were catching it. Tourists were ordering it. Nobody in the scientific community knew it was a distinct species. The standard answer for the size: food scarcity. Down here, food is almost non-existent, just a slow rain of dead particles falling from the surface like organic snow. A larger body stores more energy, holds out longer between meals. One specimen in a Japanese aquarium survived 5 years without eating. 5 years, not a single bite. Perfectly fine. Can you imagine that? You haven't eaten since 2020 and you're sitting there completely fine. That's what this animal does routinely. Size is a reservoir. The bigger you are, the longer you survive between meals. Makes sense. Until you ask why some deep-sea animals stay microscopic at exactly the same depth, in exactly the same conditions. Food scarcity alone doesn't explain which animals grow and which don't. There's something else operating here, and the sea spider points directly at it. In July 2025, scientists sequenced the complete genome of a sea spider for the first time in 150 years of study. What they found explains everything strange about this animal. It's missing a gene. Just one, called abdominal A, which normally builds the torso in all arthropods. Without it, the body never developed a central cavity, so its organs had to go somewhere. They went into the legs. Its stomach is in there, its reproductive organs too. It moves oxygen not through blood but through its intestines, digestive fluid carrying food and oxygen simultaneously through its entire body. The females lay eggs by shooting them out through their kneecaps. The males collect them and wear them around their legs like bracelets until they hatch. Picture yourself finding this thing at 70 centimeters across in the dark. The surface version fits on your fingernail. The abyssal version is as wide as a television screen. Same absurd design, just vastly, inexplicably bigger. The second answer, no predators. When nothing hunts you, you can afford to be slow, massive, completely exposed. You have all the time you want to grow. You can sit there for decades and nothing will touch you. That also sounds complete. Until you find something down here that has predators. A predator that leaves its marks carved into the skin of the largest animals on Earth. 2 kilometers down, something different rules. The colossal squid weighs up to 500 kilograms, roughly a fully loaded motorcycle. Its tentacles don't have suckers. They have swiveling 3-pronged hooks that rotate 360 degrees. When those hooks anchor into flesh, the harder the prey pulls, the deeper they rotate. The prey's own escape energy drives the hooks further in. Every adult sperm whale carries circular scars several centimeters deep across its skin. Scientists have studied those scars for decades. They know what made them. They know the battles happened in total darkness, 2 kilometers down between 2 creatures each weighing as much as a car. They have never filmed a single one. Not once. Not a frame. Everything we know comes from survivors. The scars. Partially digested beaks found inside whale stomachs. Broken hooks embedded in whale skin that required surgical removal by researchers who couldn't quite believe what they were pulling out. The battle happened. The whale lived. And whatever happened in those 2 minutes of darkness at 2 kilometers down, nobody on Earth was there to see it. So the colossal squid has a 50-ton predator hunting it specifically. A predator that finds it, fights it, and sometimes loses to it. And it still reached 500 kilograms. Food scarcity doesn't explain that. Absence of predators doesn't explain that. Something else is driving this, and the answer is sitting in the most overlooked fact about the deep ocean. Something is drifting in the depths. Stygiomedusa gigantea, the giant phantom jellyfish, discovered in 1899, named in 1910. And since then, in 125 years of exploration, observed fewer than 130 times worldwide. The bell is 1 meter across, 4 ribbon arms extending 10 meters into the void. No tentacles, no venom. A red-brown color that absorbs bioluminescent light rather than reflecting it, making it nearly invisible. One of the largest invertebrate predators in the ocean. No brain. Its arms create a living curtain that closes around anything that drifts into them. No decision made, no nerve signal sent. A 10-meter trap that simply waits. But here's what nobody talks about. There's a fish that lives inside it. Thalassobathia pelagica. A small deep-sea fish that makes its permanent home under the jellyfish's bell. It eats the leftover scraps from its meals. It hides from its own predators inside those 10-meter arms. It has chosen a brainless predator as its home, its shelter, its entire world. And when researchers separated them in the lab, the fish found its jellyfish again. In open ocean, in total darkness. No landmarks, no signals. No way to explain how it navigated back to a specific animal that cannot recognize it, cannot remember it, cannot call it back. It always comes back. Think about what that means. A fish has developed such a precise relationship with a brainless organism that it can locate one specific individual across open ocean in absolute darkness. We don't know how. We don't know why this fish chose this animal over any other shelter in the abyss. We don't know what it detects or how it navigates. We don't know how the jellyfish reproduces. We don't know how long it lives. We don't know how it regulates depth across thousands of meters of water column. In January 2025, under iceberg A84, it was drifting in a zone sealed for centuries, undisturbed, as if nothing had changed. In January 2026 off Argentina, an expedition found it nearly 4 kilometers down, twice in 1 year, after years without a single sighting. This animal is present in every ocean, documented from 200 to 6,600 meters. It should be one of the most commonly observed large animals on Earth. We have seen it 130 times in 125 years. Not because it's rare, because we haven't been looking. This is the most stable environment on Earth. Temperature barely changes. Pressure is constant. No seasons reach this far down. Even ice ages barely touch the deep compared to the chaos above. For hundreds of millions of years, the same darkness, the same cold, the same silence. While the surface of this planet was being reshaped by extinctions, ice ages, continental shifts, and 5 mass extinction events that wiped out the majority of species alive at the time, the deep ocean kept running the same conditions, the same temperature, the same chemistry, the same unbroken darkness. And in that stillness, evolution moves in slow motion. These animals have had hundreds of millions of years without anything forcing them to change. No new predators appearing overnight. No climate shifts demanding rapid adaptation. No pressure to stay small or fast. They found strategies that worked and kept running them unchanged. The colossal squid's basic design has barely changed in over 300 million years. It has been drifting here since before the dinosaurs existed. Enormous, uninterrupted time to grow, to accumulate mass across timescales that are genuinely difficult to hold in your head. Time that simply doesn't exist anywhere else on this planet. That's the part science can't fully explain. Not the size itself, the accumulation. How something keeps growing across hundreds of millions of years in an environment so stable that nothing ever forces it to stop, and what that means for the animals we haven't found yet. We've mapped 25% of the ocean floor. Every expedition comes back with something biology didn't predict. In 2025, a centuries-old ecosystem under an Antarctic iceberg that nobody knew existed. In January 2026, potentially new species on a few kilometers of Argentine seafloor. Darth Vader was being served in restaurants before science knew it existed. The sea spider waited 150 years for its genome to be sequenced. This creature has been in every ocean longer than mammals have walked this planet, and we've confirmed it fewer than 130 times. They aren't hiding. They're there, drifting, while we map Mars with more precision than our own seafloor. In the 75% we haven't explored, the same process is running right now. The same stillness, the same uninterrupted time, the same absence of anything forcing these animals to stay small. The next thing we find already exists. Right now, in the dark, we just haven't looked in the right place yet. The question isn't whether what's left is stranger than what we've seen. The question is how much stranger. If you could dive into the 75% we've never explored, what do you think is down there? Drop it in the comments.